Chevrolet recently shocked the auto industry by announcing that prices would be reduced by more than 35%. This is more than just a sale, a revolutionary development that is upending the whole auto industry. Picture yourself driving a brand new vehicle at a cost you never would have imagined. But why is this audacious action being taken? What are the reactions of other automakers? What does this mean for you, above all else? What's going on? Chevrolet recently shocked the auto industry with a price cut so drastic that it's causing ripple effects. Chevrolet's daring move to cut the manufacturer's recommended retail price of some of its best-selling models by more than 35% has left rivals and customers completely unprepared. This is a revolutionary move that directly challenges the status quo, not just a small discount. Chevrolet's Silverado, Traverse, and Bolt models are now offered at prices that were unimaginable only a few weeks ago. The Silverado, for example, used to retail for almost $50,000 in its base trim, but is now only about $32,000. A price reduction that has drawn everyone's attention. But why is this extraordinary decision being made? Chevrolet is making a strategic decision to reposition itself in the market, rather than just making a sale. Chevrolet has made the decision to change course due to increasing competition from both domestic rivals like Ford and international competitors like Toyota. Their message is very clear: value and affordability are the new norms. However, why now? Why did Chevrolet take such a risky action? Let's take a closer look. The most important numbers. What does more than 35% off mean in terms of dollars and cents? The price reductions offered by Chevrolet are absolutely astounding. For example, a 35% discount on a $50,000 car is equivalent to a $17,500 discount. For buyers, that is a financial windfall, rather than just a discount. Let's dissect each model in turn. Initially, the MSRP of the Chevrolet Bolt, one of the brand's flagship electric cars, was approximately $38,000. It is currently for sale for slightly more than $24,000. This makes it one of the most reasonably priced electric cars in its class, and puts it well within the reach of EV buyers on a tight budget. A new standard for mid-size SUVs has been established with the family-friendly SUV Traverse, whose price has dropped from $45,000 to less than $30,000. In addition to helping customers, such aggressive pricing also communicates with rival businesses. For example, Ford is currently facing tremendous pressure to reconsider the Explorer and F-150 models' prices. In a similar vein, the industry, mainstays Toyota RAV4 and Camry are struggling to hold on to their perceived value in the face of Chevrolet's pricing revolution. What does this mean for Chevrolet's bottom line, though? And how can the company afford to make such drastic cuts? The economic background. Chevrolet's choice is about adjusting to a shifting economy, not just about automobiles. The automotive sector is at a turning point. A perfect storm has been created by rising inflation, changing consumer preferences, and the shift to electric vehicles. These economic pressures offered Chevrolet a chance as well as a challenge. As household budgets became more constrained, the company's executives realized that affordability was turning into a crucial consideration for purchasers. Chevrolet is placing a wager on volume. The company intends to sell a considerably higher number of vehicles by making them more accessible, which would offset the lower margins. This tactic is not new. It is evocative of Henry Ford's strategy with the Model T, which transformed car ownership and became affordable for the typical American family. Similar actions could be taken by Chevrolet in the 21st century. Additionally, first-time car buyers and those switching from used to new cars are likely to find this pricing strategy appealing. Many people may decide to buy a new Chevrolet over a used car or an offering from a competitor because of the price reduction. Although it's a risky move, Chevrolet thinks it's worthwhile. But a move this important doesn't occur alone. It's a component of a bigger plan, a watershed in the history of automobiles. Chevrolet's price reductions could usher in a new era for the auto industry. Selling more cars isn't the only goal here. Chevrolet's move to cut prices is an indication that a significant shift is taking place in the automotive sector. To stay profitable, automakers have used a combination of premium pricing, optional add-ons, and dealership markups for decades. Chevrolet's action turns that paradigm on its head by putting value and accessibility ahead of large profit margins. Few events in the history of the automobile have been as disruptive as this. Traditional automakers were forced to innovate when mass-market electric vehicles became more reasonably priced, such as the Tesla Model 3. Chevrolet is now poised to further push the industry with its aggressive pricing strategy. It will be necessary for rivals to react, whether that means cutting costs, improving features, or coming up with new strategies. However, this is about shifting customer expectations as much as competition. If Chevrolet is able to provide high-quality automobiles at drastically lower costs, raising the standard for what consumers anticipate from all producers, it's possible that a new era of affordability and transparency will replace the days of exorbitant MSRPs and bloated pricing strategies. Not to be overlooked are the ramifications that Chevrolet's decision is having on the industry as rivals rush to react. Rivals that are playing defense. Chevrolet's price reductions have thrown its rivals into a tailspin and forced them to immediately reassess their approaches. In addition to being a company-level change, Chevrolet's decision to lower its MSRP by more than 35% represents a paradigm shift that has left rivals frantically trying to adapt. Now, automakers like Ford, Toyota, and Honda are under pressure like never before. These brands used a pricing strategy that struck a balance between affordability and high-end features for many years. Just now, Chevrolet threw a wrench in that system. Consider Ford. Long regarded as the king of American trucks, the Ford F-150 now seems excessively expensive when compared to the recently reduced Chevrolet Silverado. With a base model Silverado starting at just over $32,000, it is thousands less expensive than the F-150. Ford must now decide whether to keep its current pricing and lose market share to Chevrolet, or lower its own prices and risk reducing profits. Toyota is in a similar situation. Families have long favored the Toyota RAV4, one of the most well-liked mid-size SUVs. However, the RAV4 now feels like a harder sell because the Chevrolet Traverse is now priced under $30,000. Toyota would have to either match Chevrolet's pricing or greatly raise the value of its products in order to compete. This knock-on effect goes beyond conventional rivals. The market leader for electric vehicles, Tesla, has also been affected. Currently retailing for about $24,000, the Chevrolet Bolt is among the most reasonably priced EVs available. Tesla may need to reconsider its pricing strategy or risk losing cost-conscious EV buyers to Chevrolet, as the company's entry-level Model 3 starts at over $35,000. Not only are automakers under pressure, though, Chevrolet's audacious move is also upending supply chains and dealerships that are disorganized. Dealerships are struggling to adjust to a new pricing model as a result of Chevrolet's pricing revolution. Sales dynamics. Dealerships are caught in the midst of a rapidly shifting market, while consumers are rejoicing over the price reductions. Dealerships used MSRP markups and add-ons to increase their profit margins for many years. Chevrolet completely alters that game with its aggressive pricing strategy. Dealers have less wiggle room now that MSRPs have been cut by more than 35%, which forces them to reconsider how they approach sales. Previously dependent on high-margin cars, dealerships now have to sell a lot more units to stay profitable. For dealerships in rural areas, which lack the foot traffic of their urban counterparts, this is especially difficult. Some dealers are looking into creative ways to draw customers, like providing extended warranties, free maintenance packages, and loyalty programs, as a result of the pressure to move inventory quickly. However, the entire sales experience is at stake here, not just dealership profits. Customers are growing increasingly price-sensitive as they are used to seeing steep price reductions. Dealerships run the risk of alienating customers and losing them to rivals if they don't adopt Chevrolet's new pricing philosophy. The strain is also being felt in the supply chain. Suppliers are being asked to increase production in response to the growing demand for Chevrolet's discounted models. As a result, the industry has been affected, with logistics firms and parts manufacturers rushing to keep up with the increased demand. However, what about the customer? In addition to upending the market, Chevrolet's audacious move opened up new avenues for consumers. A market for buyers like never before. Chevrolet's price reductions have completely changed the game for auto buyers, resulting in an unprecedented environment full of opportunities. Chevrolet has successfully created a buyer's market by cutting prices. Now that prices for cars like the Bolt and Silverado have dropped dramatically, buyers are in a position of greater power than ever before. This is a huge deal for first-time purchasers. They can now afford models that were previously unaffordable, giving them access to more options. However, the advantages go beyond affordability. As a result of Chevrolet's aggressive pricing, competitors are being forced to provide better deals, which is creating a domino effect of discounts and incentives during the entire market. As a result of brands like Honda and Ford introducing limited-time offers in an effort to keep their customer base, buyers who may not even be considering Chevrolet are still reaping the benefits of these offers. The impact is also being felt in the market for used automobiles. As a result of the increasingly competitive pricing of new Chevrolet models, used car dealers are being forced to reduce their prices in order to maintain their position in the market. This has resulted in a one-of-a-kind circumstance in which purchasers of both new and used automobiles are able to reap the benefits of Chevrolet's courageous move. Having said that, there is a catch. There is a possibility that buyers will have to wait longer for popular models as demand continues to rise. It is possible that this scarcity will result in increased competition among consumers, particularly for trims and configurations that are in high demand. At this point in time, however, it is abundantly clear that purchasers are the most successful individuals in this new automotive landscape. While consumers are reaping the benefits of Chevrolet's strategy, the company is also igniting a wider conversation about the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead for the industry. The prospects for the inexpensiveness of automobiles. Is it possible that the pricing strategy that Chevrolet has adopted could mark the beginning of a new era for the automotive industry? The decision made by Chevrolet to reduce prices is more than just a short-term adjustment. Rather, it is a statement about the future of affordable automobiles. Increasing production costs, technological advancements, and an ever-increasing demand for premium features have been the primary factors driving the steady ascent of automobile prices over the course of several years. Chevrolet's move disrupts that trend and demonstrates that automobile manufacturers are still capable of producing high-quality vehicles at prices that are affordable to consumers. In light of this, an important question arises. Will other manufacturers adhere to the same model? It is possible that the industry will be forced to reevaluate its approach to pricing if Chevrolet's strategy is successful. There is a possibility that brands that have relied on premium pricing to maintain their image will need to make adjustments in order to avoid dropping market share. Additionally, there is the issue of sustainability to consider. Is it possible for Chevrolet to keep these lower prices for an extended period of time? Or is this a short-term strategy to increase their market share? The analysts of the industry are divided. A number of individuals are of the opinion that Chevrolet's concentration on volume will make this strategy feasible, whereas others are concerned that the company might experience financial strain if the profit margins decrease to an excessive degree. There is a possibility that Chevrolet's move will have cultural significance in addition to its financial repercussions. The company is democratizing car ownership by making high-quality vehicles more accessible to the general public. This ensures that a greater number of people are able to afford transportation that is dependable. Because of this, Chevrolet's strategy is not only an economic one, but it is also a cultural statement because it aligns with a larger societal shift toward inclusiveness and affordability. As we look to the future, it is abundantly clear that the courageous decision made by Chevrolet is paving the way for a new chapter in the history of automobiles at this very moment, subverting the established order. What would happen if everything you believed you knew about the cost of automobiles was about to be altered? For many years, the automotive industry has been stuck in a rhythm that is predictable. New models are introduced with higher prices, and customers adjust their budgets to match the new prices. However, Chevrolet has just changed the course of events. By lowering the manufacturer's suggested retail prices, MSRPs, by more than 35%, the brand has accomplished something that has never been done before, thereby creating a situation that calls for attention. It's not just about undercutting other businesses in the industry. The strategy that Chevrolet employs is extremely calculated, with the objective of achieving market dominance through sheer volume. Chevrolet is placing its bets on a model that has a high turnover rate, rather than concentrating on methods that maximize profits per vehicle. The reasoning behind this is straightforward. Increase production, increase the number of buyers, and dominate sales charts. However, how was Chevrolet able to accomplish this? The key to success is to enhance production efficiency while simultaneously reducing operational expenses. Chevrolet has discovered ways to reduce the cost of its automobiles without compromising on their quality by implementing more effective manufacturing processes, renegotiating contracts with its suppliers, and taking advantage of economies of scale. Not only does this strategy cause disruption among competitors, but it also establishes a new benchmark for the industry. Chevrolet is demonstrating that automakers do not have to rely on inflated prices in order to maintain a profitable business, by departing from the traditional pricing models that have been followed in the past. However, the pricing strategy that Chevrolet employs is not only about maximizing profits, it is also about regaining market dominance, an offer to take the lead in the market. This bold move by Chevrolet is not just a pricing strategy. Rather, it is a declaration of war against the other companies in the industry. In a market that is becoming increasingly competitive, Chevrolet has been fighting for years to maintain its position in the overall market. In spite of the fact that the brand has a dedicated customer base, it has been confronted with intense competition from domestic competitors such as Ford, as well as international giants such as Toyota and Hyundai. Chevrolet is taking a bold step toward regaining its market leadership position by radically reducing its prices. It couldn't have come at a healthier time. Consumers are more price-conscious than they have ever been before as a result of rising inflation and economic uncertainty, respectively. Chevrolet's decision to reduce its manufacturer's suggested retail prices, MSRPs, is aligned perfectly with this new reality, positioning the brand as the go-to choice for consumers who are concerned about value. However, Chevrolet is not content to simply focus on affordability. Additionally, the company is concentrating on innovation in order to guarantee that its automobiles continue to be competitive with regard to technological advancements, safety, measures, and operations. The Chevrolet Bolt, Chevrolet Silverado, and Chevrolet Traverse are now more affordable than they have ever been, and in addition, they come loaded with features that are comparable to those found in more expensive models offered by other brands. The fact that Chevrolet is able to attract a larger audience by offering products that are both affordable and of high quality is a powerful draw for consumers. The lineup of Chevrolet vehicles now appeals to a wider demographic than it ever has before, including individuals who are purchasing their first vehicle, as well as families who are looking for dependable transportation. However, despite the fact that Chevrolet's strategy is successful in attracting customers, it is also posing difficulties for the other automobile manufacturers. Revamping the industry as a whole. The aggressive pricing strategy that Chevrolet has implemented has caused shockwaves to travel throughout the automotive industry, compelling the entire sector to be receptive to change. The decision that Chevrolet made to reduce prices is not only beneficial for customers, it is also a wake-up call for the people who work in the automotive industry. Reevaluating their own pricing strategies and business models, competitors are currently frantically trying to come up with a response to the situation. In the case of automobile manufacturers such as Ford and Toyota, the challenge is crystal clear. Either match the pricing of Chevrolet or risk losing market share on the market. Nevertheless, it is not simple to match those prices. There are many brands that, in contrast to Chevrolet, do not have the same economies of scale or cost-cutting efficiencies in place. Because of this, they are in a difficult situation, and they are forced to make a decision between giving up sales to Chevrolet or sacrificing profits by doing so. Luxury automobile manufacturers such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz are experiencing an even more pronounced impact. Chevrolet's aggressive pricing is setting new expectations for value, making it more difficult for premium automobile manufacturers to justify their higher price tags. This is despite the fact that these brands provide their products to a different demographic of consumers. The pressure is being felt by more than just competitors, however. Effects are being felt throughout the entire supply chain. Because Chevrolet is increasing production in order to satisfy the increased demand, the company's suppliers are being pushed to their absolute limits. Companies that manufacture parts, companies that provide logistics services, and companies that supply raw materials are all currently experiencing increased pressure to deliver, which is causing ripple effects throughout the industry. Despite the fact that Chevrolet's bold move is reshaping the landscape of the automotive industry, it is also raising questions about the future of the market. What are the long-term consequences? Is it possible that the price reductions implemented by Chevrolet could mark the beginning of a new era for the automotive industry? The decision made by Chevrolet to reduce prices is more than just a short-term strategy. It has the potential to be a turning point for the entire industry. Chevrolet is compelling other automobile manufacturers to reevaluate their existing business practices by posing a challenge to the conventional pricing model. The issue of sustainability is one of the most important questions. Do you think Chevrolet will be able to keep these low prices for an extended period of time? Or is this a short-term strategy to increase their market share? The experts in the industry are divided. While there are those who believe that Chevrolet's concentration on volume will make this strategy workable, there are others who are concerned that the company might experience financial strain if profit margins decrease to an excessive degree. There is also the question of how other automobile manufacturers will react. Are other brands, such as Ford and Toyota, going to follow Chevrolet's example? Or are they going to continue to rely on the strategies they have already implemented? In the event that Chevrolet's strategy is successful, it has the potential to set off a chain reaction of transformations that will result in decreased prices and increased value throughout the industry. Last but not least, there is the viewpoint of the consumer. The action taken by Chevrolet is unquestionably beneficial for purchasers, as it produces a more competitive market and brings about a reduction in prices. Having said that, it does bring up some questions regarding the future of car ownership. To what extent will there be a shift toward vehicles that are more affordable? Or will automobile manufacturers find new ways to differentiate themselves from one another? There is one thing that is abundantly clear as we look to the future. The courageous decision that Chevrolet has made is reshaping the industry in ways that will be felt for many years to come. Chevrolet's strategy for the future of the company. Imagine for a moment that Chevrolet's recent price reductions were merely the first step in a larger strategy to dominate the automobile market. The bold decision made by Chevrolet to reduce prices by more than 35% has paved the way for a radical transformation, not only in the operations of the company, but also throughout the entirety of the automotive industry. On the other hand, this was not a decision that was made on the spur of the moment. The blueprint that Chevrolet has drawn up for the future is one that is both calculated and ambitious. Accessibility is the fundamental principle that underpins this strategy. In order to further solidify its reputation as the brand that prioritizes the needs of its customers, Chevrolet is working to lower the prices of its vehicles. Chevrolet is making a strategic move to broaden its market share and attract buyers who may have previously opted for more affordable foreign brands. This shift is more than just a marketing strategy. It is a calculated move. Chevrolet is also increasing its focus on electric vehicles, as the company recognizes that the cost of electric vehicles will be a significant factor in the widespread adoption of these vehicles. EVs. Models such as the Chevrolet Bolt are now priced to compete directly with alternatives that are powered by gasoline, which is a move that has the potential to speed up the transition toward more environmentally friendly modes of transportation. Innovation is yet another pivotal component of Chevrolet's overall business strategy. Chevrolet is establishing itself as a market leader in terms of both affordability and quality by making investments in cutting-edge manufacturing techniques and cutting-edge technology. For the purpose of remaining one step ahead of the competition, the company is utilizing every tool at its disposal, from artificial intelligence-driven design processes to supply chain improvements. Despite the fact that Chevrolet's strategy is laying the groundwork for a more promising future, it is also causing ripple effects that will cause the industry to undergo significant transformation. Countermoves employed by the competitors. Every action has a reaction, and the bold move that Chevrolet is making is forcing its competitors to rethink everything they have been doing. Due to Chevrolet's decision to reduce prices, the company's competitors are now in a difficult position. In order to remain relevant in this new market landscape, automobile manufacturers such as Ford and Toyota, as well as luxury brands such as BMW and Audi, are currently frantically developing their own strategies to respond to the new market environment. The Ford Maverick and the Ford EcoSport are two of the company's more affordable models, and the company has already hinted at plans to increase production of these vehicles. Ford intends to compete head-to-head with Chevrolet in the entry-level and mid-range segments of the market by concentrating on vehicles that are packed with multiple features and benefits. Toyota is taking a different approach, despite the fact that it is well known for its dependability and fuel efficiency. Efforts are being made by the company to streamline its global supply chain and incorporate materials that are more cost-effective. This will enable the company to lower its prices without compromising its reputation for quality. However, luxury automobile manufacturers are confronted with a distinct obstacle. Companies such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz rely on their premium image to justify the higher price tags that they charge for their products. In order to differentiate themselves from Chevrolet's aggressive pricing, these companies are putting an emphasis on exclusive features, the ability to customize their vehicles, and advanced technology. In addition, the move made by Chevrolet has exerted pressure on newer and more modest automobile manufacturers. These days, businesses like Rivian and Lucid, which focus on serving specific niche markets, are required to demonstrate that their premium pricing models provide sufficient value to warrant the additional expense. However, this seismic shift is not only having a significant impact on automobile manufacturers, it is also having a significant impact on average consumers, the emerging reality of the consumer. Because you are a consumer, what does the bold move that Chevrolet made mean for you? Possibly, the answer is astonish oneself. For a considerable amount of time, purchasing a car has been a significant financial commitment, frequently necessitating years of savings or financing over a long period of time. This reality is being altered as a result of Chevrolet's decision to reduce prices, which is making vehicle ownership more accessible than it has ever been before. Consequently, this opens up the possibility for families to upgrade to vehicles that are safer and more feature-rich without completely emptying their bank accounts. Younger buyers, who may have been priced out of the market, now have more options to choose from, including entry-level models that were previously considered to be on the higher end of the price spectrum. On the other hand, the advantages go beyond the reasonable cost. Other automobile manufacturers are being forced to provide more value for less money as a result of Chevrolet's aggressive pricing, which is also driving competition. A more consumer-friendly market is being created as a result of this ripple effect, which gives consumers access to better deals and a wider variety of options. Having said that, there are several potential drawbacks. When manufacturers are adjusting to the new pricing landscape, it is possible that some of them will cut corners in order to maintain their profitability. The long-term dependability and build quality of the product could be called into question as a result of this, particularly in models with lower prices. Customers who are concerned about the environment will find Chevrolet's emphasis on affordable electric vehicles to be a game-changer. As a result of models such as the Bolt, electric vehicles are becoming more accessible, which is speeding up the transition to a more environmentally friendly future. As the market continues to shift, however, consumers will need to remain informed in order to successfully navigate the complexities of an industry that is rapidly evolving. In the midst of consumers adjusting to this new reality, it is impossible to ignore the wider economic implications that Chevrolet's move will have. The effects of the ripples on the economy and society. Is it possible that the decision made by Chevrolet to reduce prices will serve as the spark that ignites the manufacturing sector in the United States? It is not just the automobile industry that is being reshaped by Chevrolet's pricing strategy. It is also creating ripple effects that extend far beyond the confines of car dealerships. Chevrolet is helping to contribute to the revival of the American manufacturing industry by increasing production and lowering the prices of their vehicles. Employment opportunities are being created as a result of this shift in states such as Michigan and Indiana, where the automobile manufacturing industry has been a pillar of the economy for a long time, putting local communities back on their feet. There has been an increase in the demand for components and materials among suppliers, and factories that were previously operating at a reduced capacity are now ramping up their production. On the other hand, the influence is not confined to the United States alone. Due to the fact that foreign automakers are struggling to maintain their foothold in an increasingly competitive landscape, the decision made by Chevrolet is also having an effect on global markets. Chevrolet's pricing strategy is a wake-up call for nations that are dependent on automobile exports, and it has prompted a re-evaluation of economic strategies and trade policies in those nations. In a social sense, Chevrolet's move is democratizing access to quality vehicles, which in turn makes transportation more accessible for individuals of all walks of life, including families, students, and professionals. It is possible that this will have far-reaching implications for mobility, economic opportunity, and quality of life, particularly in communities that are underserved and rural. In spite of this, the effects of the ripples are not entirely positive. It is possible that some competitors will resort to layoffs or reductions in order to maintain their competitive edge as they adjust to the new pricing landscape. Furthermore, this highlights the high stakes that are associated with Chevrolet's bold move, as well as the delicate balance that is required to successfully navigate such a transformative shift. As we contemplate the far-reaching implications of Chevrolet's strategy, there is one question that continues to occupy our minds. What does the future hold for the industrial sector of automobile manufacturing? A seismic shift that is reshaping the automotive industry, challenging competitors, and transforming the consumer experience, is being brought about by Chevrolet's decision to reduce prices by more than 35%. This decision is more than just a bold marketing move. One thing is abundantly clear: the road that lies ahead is replete with opportunities, even as automobile manufacturers struggle to adjust to the new reality and consumers navigate the new reality. The strategy that Chevrolet has adopted will either establish a new benchmark for affordability and innovation, or it will give rise to unanticipated challenges that will once again reshape the industry. What are your thoughts on the courageous move that Chevrolet made? Are you excited about the possibility of more affordable automobiles, or do you have concerns about the potential alternatives that may be available? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. We are eager to hear them.